We asked the question, there's a person who was a thief, he shoplifted, he stole a package of socks and a suit from a very expensive retail store. Each package of socks was $25 and the suit was $1,500. How much money should this person then pay back in restitution towards the store? Number of different ways to analyze this scenario. One, what is the cost of the item? What did Mr. Retail Store person pay for those items? And what's the going rate? What do they cost? What's the retail price? So I told you the retail price, but there's no way, of course, unless he's a very silly business person, the owner of such a store would charge the same amount they paid. They paid much less. Generally speaking, a retail store approximately doubles. What they pay $10, they mark it up and sell for $20. It's not always the case, but it's a pretty good way of doing it. So what would you have to pay back? And the question is, when you buy a package of socks, how does it work? Because you have individual socks. I mean, one sock is useless. I mean, pairs of socks is what I should say, right? You have 6 pairs of socks, 3 pairs of socks, as opposed to the bulk item. And maybe this store is like a boutique store, where if you could find that suit, which sells for $1,500, maybe you could actually find that suit for $1,000 if you walked into the Bay, or if you walked into Moore's. But this is a boutique store, and boutique places usually charge more money. Why do they do that? The answer is because they can. So how do you go about evaluating it? So the general practice, as codified in the Shulchan Aruch, is you pay what the retail current price of the item is at a typical store. So if this guy is charging a tremendous amount of extra money, maybe you would not be obligated to pay the additional extra amount, but if it was considered a fair amount, you would actually have to compensate them to that amount. If, however, everyone else is $1,000, he's $1,500, you probably would only have to pay the $1,000. But you don't evaluate it what the guy paid, you evaluate it what the retail price is. When it comes to things that are pairs of socks or bought in bulk, you don't. If you steal them in bulk, you could benefit from the fact that they can also only compensate in bulk, assuming, of course, that bulk things are cheaper as opposed to selling them individually. And wherever you steal something individually and say, well, these socks are also sold in packages of 10 for a fraction of the price, too bad. You steal them individually to compensate them the price individually and not in bulk. I believe that is the correct answer. That's what I saw out there. Interesting to see the number of different responses, which I will, Bezrat Hashem, look at throughout the course of the afternoon and evening. Today's the last Wednesday WhatsApp question till after Chagim.